So welcome to the Start Agenda, and introduce yourself. What's your name and your company?
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for the time. I'm Amadeo Brandt. I'm from Amsterdam originally. I've worked as a freelance analyst, a fundamental analyst for different hedge funds. And before that, I was a IT consultant working for different corporations. And now I'm here in the Philippines, starting my own company, EY Digital.
Yeah, you know, everyone's going to ask in the Philippines, why'd you come here, and and how long you been here? You speak Tagalog?
No, I don't speak Tagalog. I'm starting to understand it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm here now for around 5-6 months, so I'm pretty new in the Philippines.
Wow, yeah.
And I'm here because I was a freelancer in Shanghai, and then my co-founder started a company here called EY Digital. And the company was originally started in Hong Kong, but we are branched out into the Philippines because that's easier for us to start up an office, to hire more staff.
English speaking.
Your
stuff.
Same culture, and it's just so nice that you can connect here with people on the similar level.
There's a good startup scene here.
Yes.
Lots of support, and it's a more fun place to be, I think. So you're going to stay here then?
Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan.
So tell me the idea then. What's the idea?
So the idea is that it came basically out of with EY Digital. We're working for we are a digital agency. We do digital transformation. We do digital marketing. It's a pretty broad range of services we offer there. But we also work on our own concepts. And this is one of the concepts I've basically been working on for the last 2-3 years. When I was a freelancer, I built crypto asset management software for hedge funds. And now I feel the time is ripe to commercialize that and basically make that a separate entity.
So what's the idea in one sentence?
So crypto Cipher Assets. Cipher Assets focus on creating asset management software for funds and OTC desks in the crypto asset space. So
managing cryptocurrencies for other people?
No, we are mostly focused on the institutional side of the cryptocurrency industry.
Okay.
What I saw is that until now, there's only 3% institutional money is in crypto, and I feel that more institutional money is coming in.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
Yeah, and these bigger hedge funds, they are using very old legacy systems to account and to check. And
so you're going to cover like how people manage their private keys and public keys and so on, or no?
No, I'm not going to touch that.
Okay, let's have a look at the idea then.
Yeah, so what it comes down to, Cipher Asset does crypto asset management from an accountancy perspective. So really you have, for example, 20 or 30 million euros or 100 million peso invested in crypto as a hedge fund, and then you maybe have like 50 to 60 different positions. Every month you need to create an NAV, net asset on the value statement, how much crypto you hold as a fund.
And what's the value then? Yeah.
And what's the value, you need to prove it. And I don't see traditional hedge fund software catching up with that quickly, and that's why I started Cipher Assets. So, well, as discussed, the crypto asset space is moving really fast. There's so many different wallets, there's many different exchanges. If I would ask you, because I know you own crypto, how much value you have exactly, you don't have to say, but would you pinpoint exactly how much value you have in all these different crypto assets?
Yeah, I kind of have an idea. Yeah.
Kind of have an idea is not good enough for if you're in a hedge fund.
Right. You need exact figures.
You need exact figures. It needs to be communicated to the regulators.
Yeah. For me, I just I kind of check now and again, as you would with shares, have the price gone up, and approximately a few million or so on.
Exactly. But yeah, for a retail investor, that's fine.
Yeah.
But now the institutional investors are coming in. They're managing basically money for other people.
So is that on a real-time basis then, or is it? Okay.
So that's on a real-time basis. The problem is if you don't have the overview, you're losing funds, you're making wrong investment decisions. There's a split. There's forks. There's dividends.
Which we like. Well, I did before, but yeah.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So I see, because of this, I see a lot of opportunities. The crypto asset space is really still a niche market, and I see in the future, I see in the future that blockchain assets will be will replace traditional assets in the long term.
Not just cryptocurrency, but shares,
yes,
property, and so on.
Yes, and that all needs to be managed with in the back of our mind. How does a blockchain work? How does a ledger work? It doesn't matter which blockchain. It does matter the how do you track it? Traditional hedge fund software, traditional software to account these different positions, it's not even catching up to the trend of today. Yeah.
So this is not specific just to the Philippines. You're just creating it here, but it'd be because there's very few people that are into this. Like, there's no hedge funds here that do crypto.
Well, there is some, but mostly they're not really regulated yet. So this is mostly targeting at Hong Kong or Singapore. Okay. Amsterdam.
So you see, I mean, this is the market for you is Southeast Asia or China, and or is it Europe as well, or the States?
We're still trying to pinpoint that. I will come back to that in the next slide.
All right.
So take back control. There's a lot of opportunities in here, and we're not touching your keys because a lot of competitors are also doing the key management. From my experience, I know that you don't want to outsource the key management. That needs to be a custodian that is like specialized in that.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to touch that. I'm just going to help with the accounting. So take up and control of your crypto assets. So it's not a chaos, but you know what you're doing. So the features of the platform are as follows. For the funds, we're building a reconciliation tool. We track and we make it easier to trade on different exchanges if they want to, and it's easier to transfer. As I will show later, if we can have time for a demo, it's for a hedge fund, but also for the CDAS, they cannot hold more than 20% of the crypto assets on third-party exchanges, because else there's too much third-party risk, and then you have issues with the regulators. So you need to transfer different cold wallets, hot wallets, and that's really hard to track if you are a simple accountant. So for OTC Desk, we're creating buyer and seller APIs. We're going to help with the SSI creation, the standard settlement instructions. Basically comes down to making a little more structure what kind of OTC deals you bring out, make it easier to track and trade. And basically now the OTC market mostly works within WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups, and it's like, how much do you want to buy, how much do you want to sell.
So you need to be a little bit more organized for.
And that's what I can help with. Again, I'm not touching the keys, I'm just giving the software.
You're running on R3?
So we potentially are going to partner with R3, but we're also open for other providers.
I mean, R3 is, I mean, it's meant more for banking, but is this?
So R3 Corda, what I like about the architecture of R3 Corda, but we also looked into multi-chain.
No, the thing is, R3 Corda, it protects the privacy when you're transferring between partners, and I think institutions want that.
Yes.
Whereas other multi-chain or Hyperledger, you might not, because it's open. So R3 makes sense if you want to protect privacy.
Yeah, so it's basically like you have a buyer and a seller, they don't really know each other, and at the moment that they want to do a deal together, maybe it needs to be checked that this person did deals higher than 2 million euros before, and this person also...
pre-checking verification, but the actual transaction is not broadcast out to the world, it's just between those partners.
The transaction is between, if a transaction is made, then it depends if, so let's say they're both on the platform, then we can hash those transactions on the platform, but the Bitcoin, the fiat or Bitcoin transaction.
Oh, the actual, that's on the chain. But the actual details, depending on how the assets are created. So R3 is pretty good. That's the main thing on R3 that I was looking at. Go on then.
Yeah, so it has post trades, it has standard settlement instructions and bid ask order matching via R3 Corda. Potentially, we're still exploring this, and we also see R3 potentially as a partner because they have an R3 marketplace. So if you're going to develop on R3, they will also support you, and that's really good for us.
So you're going to let like the hedge funds just say, okay, I'm holding this on this exchange. I need to move it from here to here. One button, and you'll just have the API that takes care of it. Yes. But they control their own private keys and whatever system they're using. You're just creating the links to make it happen based on the info they're going to enter in.
Yeah, so and that's up to them. Like you have view keys and write keys at exchanges, for example, and it's up to them how much access they want to give to us. But we're not going to touch.
But you're going to store like the value at any one time, the what's happened, so that their customers can see how they get to see a full transparent view of everything they're doing, or only with their funds, or.
So we're gonna structure that. I come back to that in the demo or in the later stage. So the market analysis, I think we were both aware of that. It's a huge market. There's a lot of potential.
You're not going to go, if we get 1% of this market, you're not going to do that, are you?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm not going to do that. But the thing is just to give a picture of the market also for the viewers. That is a big market, especially also the OTC market is like huge. It's 2-3 times bigger than the exchanges, which we use CoinMarketCap, etc., for, right? So competitors in the space right now, they're mostly focused on the hedge fund side. They don't really focus on the OTC side yet. It's, in my view, I tested them out because when I was working at the other hedge fund, it was like testing out other tools and maybe we can integrate that. And for me, it was overcomplicated for the tooling that most hedge funds needed.
So your customers will be the hedge funds that say, this is an extra tool we can add in?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've usually got a pile of money so they can pay you quite a bit.
Crypto hedge fund, the money went down a little bit, unfortunately, but they still.
No, I'm just talking about hedge funds that would like to get into the market, but they don't have anything that can help them.
Yes, we also help them with that. We can educate them. We can basically set up their infrastructure in terms of like, okay, now you have your IT infrastructure there, sign up to different exchanges, make wallets, and then with the wallet creation, we will have partners that do the custodial part. We're not going to do that ourselves. We're going to have partners, and we can help them set it up. We can, okay, this is your public key. You need to give the public key to us. Don't give the private key to us.
So they should be the banks or companies like that, but they're far away from handling crypto assets at the moment. It's the sort of thing I do, the custodianship.
Oh, then we can, that would be interesting.
So carry on.
Yeah, so there's Caspian. Galaxy Digital is one partner that's making OTCE. They're trying to make a similar platform for OTC desks. Chopper and other.
Just in case anyone doesn't know what OTC, over the counter. Just
over the counter,
doesn't understand on the show.
Yeah.
And in China, because they chopped the exchanges, they said no more exchanges allowed. Then most of the trading in China is over the counter.
Yes.
And we just don't know how big that market is in China. It's going to be quite big.
4.4 times bigger than the traditional exchanges.
But they don't have traditional exchanges in China.
No.
So what is it there? No one really knows. But it's a big market. They just went sort of over the counter. And most of my larger trades are done over the counter, privately. So.
But as you know, do you think that goes very professionally, or do you think there's maybe some more?
I think it goes on your reputation. But if you've got two people that don't know each other, that's kind of. Are you going to be doing the OTC like someone brings in a suitcase of cash and then they say, here's the.
No, I'm not. I'm basically. I don't care how they do it. I only care about the data that they give me.
Okay,
I'm just recording everything that they do. We can target more professional traders. We can embed trading algorithms. We can maybe integrate exchanges more in it, and we can also create a client portal where clients can log in and see what's going on with their crypto assets. So what have we built so far? Basically, in-house we developed software for a hedge fund in Amsterdam that is using this right now for 2.5 years.
Are they paying?
Yeah. They're a paying customer.
And are you allowed to say how much they pay?
No.
But they're paying. Okay.
Yeah. So we're working, and we have a partnership together to basically scale up our project, and we're now going to commercialize it. We feel that the time is ripe. First, like the company I was working with wanted to keep it in-house and didn't want to share it because they saw it more as like a competitive advantage. And now we're going to go to the market with this. Basically what it does, it track and traces everything. It integrates with 6 different exchanges. And they basically do around 40,000 trades each week. They do a weekly net asset owner value statement. And then after the trades are done, every Wednesday for them, a NAV is created that is communicated to the fund administrator, and we will make sure that the good numbers are communicated.
Explain what NAV means, just for everyone.
Yeah. So an NAV is a net asset owner value statement.
So whatever it's worth right at that point in time.
Yes. and that is pretty hard with crypto because it's moving quite fast.
It's up and down like a yo-yo.
Yeah, and when we started this we started working on I think 3.5 years ago, and then it was like APIs were not ready, like nothing was mature, everything was still, it was a lot of bootstrapping. But we see now also the market is more mature, so we can also build a system like this.
This wouldn't have been ready 3 years ago.
No.
It wouldn't have been.
You couldn't make it at a level, industry level that you wouldn't have too much headaches.
Okay.
Pushing.
So we got.
Yeah, I can show the demo later if needed.
I want to see how it works.
Yeah, I have a live demo.
So okay. Yeah. What's that setup fee is 20,000.
Yeah. So now we go into the business model. Also did analysis like other software out in the market. This is still a little bit in because there's the OTC side and the fund side. So that's why the price range is a little bit out of part. But this is to make the financial predictions. Setup fee is around $20,000 to $30,000 to integrate it. There's a monthly license fee between 2 and 5K. And there is also support fee if needed, and customization if needed. So there's like an average income per customer of around $6,000. And we're going to, if you look in the industry, if a fund joins you, if we can embed our, we believe that we are the best, and we believe that a lot of funds want us, a lot of OTCs.
So what's the potential market? How many hedge funds are there?
Yeah, so there's around more than 1,000 hedge funds out there. I would say we would like to target the hedge funds a bit around 50 million or more. We don't want like the smaller ones. It's maybe they can better keep using Excel.
And you've got one that's already using, so you can use that as an example. Yes. But you haven't got any more, just the one at the moment.
Just one at the moment, and we're not actively targeting anybody right now.
Still building.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is basically the first time it goes a little bit more public.
Yeah. So you can maybe target like of the 1,000 worldwide, you can probably get what? How do you reckon?
Yeah, we made predictions. So here's like the timeline, but the prediction is basically in the first 1 to 6 months. We also want to harden the software, so we don't want to grow too fast in the beginning. So we're thinking about just 2 launching customers for the 1 to 6 months. So there's in total 3 customers basically. And then we're thinking about in the future 60 plus customers, 100. It's not that we need a lot.
Right. And what kind of money are you looking for?
Yeah, so let me first explain the timeline. First, in the first 6 months, we're going to do deeper market research. We're going to make the initial design. We're going to make the MVP. We're basically going to redesign the whole project. We're going to do it in Node.js and Golang.
Golang, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're going to redo the branding. We're going to set up a lead generation funnel and develop the project more further. And then we're going to commercialize it, grow it, and expand it. What we now see in the timeline is that we already see a lot of interest from OTC desks. We already have like 2 OTC desks we're talking to. And there's some OTC desks here actually in the Philippines that might be interested because we have here the SASA license, right? And there's like a lot of
25 or so.
Yeah. But we're in talks with some people there, and they want this. They said they would be very interested in using this, and we're still in talks there. So we're going to move the OTC side also to the 1 6 month time frame.
And whatever customers want, I guess.
Of course, of course. So what are we looking for? Basically, for a seed round, we're looking for around 120K, and for the next rounds, we are not sure because it depends also on how much. Maybe we can get like 3 or 4 launching customers and see how the traction goes. But
are you doing any percentage of company, or how are you setting up?
Yeah, so right now the company is structured as follows. The company will be set up in Hong Kong. I will own 50%, and the other 50% is for my partner in St. Petersburg, because we basically developed the software 3 years ago. It's a Dutch friend of mine, and he has a developer office in St. Petersburg.
So the company is based outside
of the Philippines.
So where would if you put on 120,000 in for pre-seed, what do they get? What would you get?
So the 120,000 for the pre-seed, they will get around. This is negotiable. We're looking for 120,000, and it's flexible how much percentage they will get for us. We're looking for smart money, and we're looking for partners in that. So we're not looking per se for just only money. So it depends if there's a partner that can bring in also maybe a little bit of sweat equity, right?
Okay.
On top of that, we can discuss that. But initially, it's like 120K. And
so when you reckon pre-series A is like 6 months time or a year's time or
yeah, so in 6 months time. Yeah.
So you'd be able to build something, then you can show it to someone to put more money in.
Yes.
And then go get some clients, some traction, and then go to a venture capital company to raise more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the plan. And basically, if you look at the timelines, that's basically the first 6 months we're looking for seed capital, and then after that we're going to pre-series A.
So if angels put 120,000 in the beginning, then and say in 2 years' time, then they look at a return of what? If you put 120,000, what will come back in 2 years' time? What do you reckon?
Yeah, so if they put them on 120K, if the predictions are correct, they can have a return rate of around it's in there. So it's a return rate depending on how much clients come in.
Yeah, if you get those clients though, if you get 30 clients by Series A, then this will buy out the angels.
Exactly.
Probably.
If they want to.
If they want to be, yeah. So your return might be, what, 10 times?
Yeah,
30,
around
30
10
times return.
Yeah.
Like if you get the clients.
If we get the clients, and we believe that it's not really it's more about we need to get credibility network.
But we can on just pre-series A, or I mean, this would be the time where you can go within 1 year, you can get 3 times your money if you get those clients.
Correct.
But if you stay in, then you'll earn a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like 3 times, and then here it's like 8 times.
8 times.
And then here it's like 16.
Yeah. So okay, 120,000. And that goes mostly for what, development cost or?
Yeah, mostly development and marketing it, connecting with.
But the development is done where?
Development is done here in the Philippines.
Okay.
And in St. Petersburg.
So you're doing freelancers, or they employed full time, or?
Full time. Yeah.
And you've got them already here working.
Not here in the Philippines, in St. Petersburg.
But you want to use that money to employ more people here.
Also, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And 120,000 will last.
Yeah, 6 months.
But most of the time, right now, it's your sweat equity and your partner abroad, right?
Yeah. So that's basically Jan Willem is the CTO. I'm the CEO. I'm also we are 2 technical founders,
right.
And we own basically 50% of the company. Then there's Roy, basically is a co-founder of EOI, and Alejandro, he will help out with the commercial side because he is the ex-vice president of Bitmain, and he has a lot of connections with OTC devs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, demo.
Yes, let's go to the demo. Is there, what do we need? Launching customers, seed funding, and strategic partners. That's what we need. Before we go in the demo, do you have any questions?
No, I want to see what you're doing. It's easier to see the demo on.
As a fund manager, you come in and you in the fund. I built this for. It basically comes down to this. There's like 4 or 5 trade dates a week, and then on the background there is basically this buy and sell list that is used for that. So there's around some analysts are working for the fund. They're giving buy and sell signals to the fund. And these buy and sell signals are collected here. So it's like.
So these are the people actually doing the buying and selling, when they make a decision, they're getting information, so they can use that data to make that decision.
Exactly. So there's a buy and sell list here, and then the chief investment officer would say, okay, I approve. Yeah. Then it will go in the buy and sell in the executing sells or executing buys. So
this is where your API would link to making the buy.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is for the funds, right? But the interesting thing is that the software how it's constructed can also be used for the seeders, but I will come back to that later. So basically, it's like, okay, the researchers say we need to buy Bitcoin today, and we need to sell Ethereum, or we need to buy Tech Cash, and we need to sell another asset. And then basically you can put that in here in the buy and sell list, and then it will be moved up after the chief investment officer agrees, moved here. And then the trades are being made. The trades are made, and every trade that is done is basically recorded in a ledger. This is a ledger that records all the different trades from all the different angles, from all the different exchanges and all.
Is this the stuff that's stored in an recorder on the blockchain itself, or is it just
no, for
centralized?
This is centralized because
it doesn't need to be.
It's a bit of a sensitive part because which fund wants to show what they're buying, right?
Okay.
So we are creating a infrastructure where we basically silo off all these different databases, so no funds can see, or we can also not see what's going on.
So when you show the NVR?
Basically what I'm going to show you is this. So you have the buy and sellers and things are executed, and then here you move the dates. And then here you will be able to see all the different buys and all the different sells that have been done on the platform. Have been done in the different exchanges. So you can see hot storage, cold storage, KuCoin.
Right. Okay. So it's a centralized system for helping people buy and sell like on an institutional level.
Yes.
Okay, straightforward. And then that's fairly straightforward. It makes it more useful when you can actually hook into the different exchanges. Where do you put the settings in there and say, go make a buy order? That's where you've got that automatically put in, right?
Yeah, so that is possible.
Using trading bots or...
Yeah, that's possible, but a lot of different funds have a lot of different security levels. And in our case, they didn't want to expose the right keys. Okay,
so this is going, and this is hooking into their other software, or do they have to do it then record it in here?
No, it's hooking. It's automatically records everything. So basically, if you can see right here, all these different exchanges are all updated automatically.
Yeah.
So basically, if there's a trade happening on Poloniex, Bittrex, Binance, they can choose to activate the right APIs, and they can just do it via this tool.
So as they trade with whatever tool they're using directly on the site or through an automated bot or whatever, then you've also got APIs to record that and just come straight in here using their account address or whatever. Yeah. So they can't initiate the buy orders from here, they're just recording it.
We're just recording it, but we have the capability also to initiate it. But
that's saying the clients don't really want that.
The clients were they're like, that's kind of dangerous for them.
So this is definitely not a user, like consumer-facing product. This is definitely an institution. Yeah. And no one's going to pay $20,000 to set it up for themselves.
No.
The companies would. Okay.
No, you need an institute. You need to have big volumes, and you need to.
Why does it cost so much to set it up?
So the reason why it's expensive, well, I don't think it's expensive. If you look at like traditional.
Well, that's because they got lots of money. But if you, in terms of the work you do on the back end, what's in, is there a lot involved in the setting up of the, maybe the accounts that they're linking with and.
It's a bit also security for ourselves, because it does because we use the different database levels. So if a new fund comes in, we need to do a lot of security that make sure that their data is not exposed. So there's work there. We need to set up like all the different exchanges. We need to help them a lot.
So how long does it take on average to do a setup?
Probably around a month.
For each customer?
Yeah.
And you can do that right now? You have the manpower to do it, or?
Yeah, I can scale up pretty easy, or I can make my own time free.
Okay.
Just bootstrapping it forward, right?
This is your main product that you're working on, right? You're not working on anything else, or just this?
This is the main product I'm working on right now. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's for the show. It's pretty highbrow. It's like or tech on a tech level. It'd be, the bottom level is the bottom line is that if anyone's investing in this kind of business. Or they want to put money into your company, they just have to understand you're doing something to solve a problem right now, which is they've got nothing, or there might be other products in development, but you want to get there ahead of them, and there's a way of making money out of it. Yes. And a return as well.
Yes, because and it's actually a very good point. Like the OTC desk and the hedge funds didn't have to innovate because they were making too much money, right? Yeah. But they need to innovate right now, because if I did some market research, and if you look at funds or OTC desks, they have armies of accountants. I know a OTC desk has 25 accountants with a Hong Kong-based salary, 24/7, crunching numbers.
Are they doing all Excel spreadsheets?
It is a combination. It's Excel spreadsheet and
I haven't seen anything like this out there. But that's not to say that no one's working on it. You think that you're going to have some competition? Because this is fairly new.
It's very new.
As more hedge funds express interest, or OGC desks want to have something to manage their assets, then there'll be other people coming in. Big companies like maybe IBM is going to come in because they're already doing software for banks and so on.
Yeah, Galaxy Digital tries to come in, and I think the market is still too small for the real big players to come in.
Yeah.
But
that's maybe an exit strategy in the future if you ever think about that, to be bought out. Okay. So you're going to, regardless of where you get the money, you're going to still build, but it's just going to take you a bit longer to do it, right?
Exactly. So we're actually, right now the funding, what we need, the pre-fund funding, it would be it would speed things up, right? Because we basically do everything ourselves. It would help us if we could hire another Golang developer or Node.js developer, but we could do everything ourselves.
I'm just thinking it's a bit difficult to invest from here in a company outside the Philippines because it's a bit security-wise, and you have no real controls, no if something goes wrong, then there's no recourse to anything here. If you've got a company based here, is there any way you could set up a company here as a holding company or?
Yeah, so we have a company in the Philippines. We have a company in Hong Kong, EOI, and also the company also has a cost center in.
But the IP of the intellectual property of this is held by the Hong Kong company.
Yes.
Okay, it's just interesting venture because most investors here they want to have something. It's even, actually not all. I mean, I know a lot of people invest in companies in Singapore. So. Yeah.
Can be done, and I think for us also for our target market, I think Hong Kong is probably a better place to set up.
Not Singapore.
Maybe also Singapore, like that can be.
But that's been set up for how long in Hong Kong?
We're in the process of setting it up. So
you haven't set it up?
Not yet.
But you didn't say you'd rather not here. You'd rather do it in Hong Kong.
Yeah, the reason. Maybe if somebody has any advice for me or set up a very easily set up a startup company in the Philippines, I would be interested in that.
Well, they have a one-man company set up from tomorrow, 6th of May. So,
okay.
So you might want to do that.
Yeah, that could be very interesting if that's if there's interested people that are interested to help me out with that.
It depends on where the money comes from. If there's Filipino investors, they probably prefer investing in a Filipino company.
Yeah, we can.
So we'll see when you have more interest. Now I understand a bit more about what you're doing because I've talked to you before and I wasn't quite sure. Now I get a fairly clear idea. But I'll also I've got a few people I want to talk to about on this and see what their thoughts are. People that understand hedge fund business a lot more than I do, and to see if it's is this 30 clients in a year and a half or 2 years.
Yeah, just 1 to 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 to 2 years. Is it possible to get 30 hedge funds in that time? Is there enough interest?
Or OGC desk.
Or OGC desk. Yeah, the OGC desk might be your first customer, and then they see what's happening, and then they say, "Oh, we want a bit of that action."
Yes.
And of course, it's going to be dependent on how the crypto market's going to behave in the next year or 2.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's rising again, so there's a lot more retail investor interest in it. Which means that hedge funds are going to say, well, we want to get in there and support it for you.
Yes.
So yeah, okay. It's good. All right, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for that.